Yes, I guess we're live.
Hello.
Wonderful. Yes. Hello, hello. So, a warm welcome. Good evening if you are based in Europe. Otherwise, well, good day. Um, so this is we're trying something new. And I am joined today in this conversation with by Dalia. And yeah, I mean, if you know me, if you've been on my lives before, if you've joined my lives before, I typically do a Sunday outfit planning lives. I still intend to do them, but today is different. Today I have a guest, and the conversation will be about inspiration. And really, I myself reached out to Dalia because I have actually problems sometimes myself looking for inspiration and understanding how to actually use inspiration. um, so I thought it could be good, it could be interesting, both for me, maybe also for you, Dalia, hopefully, and
For
also
sure.
for our listeners to talk about that. And maybe just in terms of introduction, so I'm Evelina, I'm 49, I'm based in Copenhagen, Denmark. I work within renewable energy industry. I'm an engineer by background, but I've been always super interested in fashion and expressing myself by fashion.
Mhm.
And well, we are both writers here on Substack. We are also on Instagram. Yeah. So Dalia, please.
Yeah, thanks so much, Evelina, for having me. It's great, and I always love to talk about fashion. It's been a hobby that has consumed me for the past 5 years. So my name is Dalia. I write at styleandprocess.com. It's been my hobby for past several years, and I myself work in the tech industry. I'm 41, and I'm very excited to speak with Evelina about fashion and about inspiration for the style, because I've been trying to figure out and perfect my style for past several years, but it's still not perfect in my opinion. So still a lot of work to do. So happy to share what I've discovered, and hopefully we'll get a lot of inspiration
Yes,
doing this.
wonderful, wonderful. And I mean, we have, guys, so for those of you joining, we have prepared, sort of an agenda that we will follow, but please do ping in, add any comments that you may have, questions or just things that you would like to share with us, the two of us, and the greater audience, whoever will be joining and maybe watching the replay. Amazing. So once again, a conversation about inspiration. So how we find it, what do we do with it? How we implement it in our closets. And well, Dalia, do you want to start with the first question?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So let's talk about Tibis, the brand that has almost a cult status and has influenced a lot of us on the Substack. And you, Evelina, are following Tibi very closely, but more as a source of inspiration from their style classes and so on. What do you usually take from these style classes? How do you use it?
Yes, and maybe just a little bit of explanation that I think this question requires, because um, yes, it's true that I don't necessarily buy a lot of TB, and I would say that is mainly because of where I'm based. I think it's much easier to buy TB new, but also actually pre-loved. I think there is much more. The market is much bigger in the US. I know that you have a way to get it there, the way you want it, but I just figured that for me it's becoming too much of a hassle to you know to get hold of pieces that I want in the latest collections, and or used, if the pieces are coming from the US. So slowly, it wasn't like a decision from one day to another, but slowly I decided to use it more as a I mean, a learning experience. So, I mean, I also have, and I read the first TB book, and um, that's also how I approach the side classes. So, of course, there will always be items that I just need to have, but otherwise, I just look at it in terms of, okay, what colors are, let's say, trending according to TB. What cuts, what styles. Let's say right now, we are going maybe a little bit away from super wide leg trousers, so the silhouette will be slightly slimmer, and I do like us to see that, let's say, um, yeah, I mean, I do want to see how TB does this move, because I really, I see myself in the TB brand. So I want to see how they actually interpret this move. And then very much so, if we're talking about colors, I mean, every season there would be, some new interesting colors. And I've learned so much. I've learned so much from, I think it's Amy Smilovic's a phrase that the eye will adjust. And oh gosh, I mean, it has adjusted for me a lot. So I see colors in a completely new way, but it's a process. It's a continuous process, because they do come up with new beautiful colors, and I need to keep on learning from them. And maybe just an example. I mean, this is actually a new pre-loved piece that I'm not sure whether you will see me all well, but this is a rusty skirt that I would never have thought about before, if it wasn't for TB. And I recently styled it with this top, which is like moss green, and again, two colors that I wouldn't consider before. Let's say, I mean, before TB, but also I think this thing with colors is like maybe last 3 years for me, even though I've been following TB for, yeah, I mean, since Corona. And then
Looks great.
yeah, and then actually this is a TBP, so it's their Christine Nylon navy Leon blazer. So these three together, it's definitely not something I would have come up with, myself, right? I mean, if it wasn't for style classes. So yeah, colors, silhouettes, and obviously, I mean, how you can style things together, just in general. Yeah. And then I mean, then what I do, then I have sort of trained my eye, and then I go on Vinted, or I go on Vestiaire Collective, and look for I would say mainly colors. Mainly colors is something that um, you know attracts my attention on those platforms. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Colors has been big for me as well from TB. Before I was way less advanced, and now I adjust on these very strange and interesting pairings and combinations, and it's amazing what kind of looks you can achieve when you especially unafraid of color, and combining it with certain neutrals, bright, subdued colors, ring 3, ring 4, and so I love it.
Yeah.
It has been an education for sure.
Yeah. And I tend to, I mean, I started, I don't know how it is, where you live, but I started to notice that I'm sort of a little bit more like, I stand out more and more in a way.
Yeah.
Compared to just the average way, of how people dress here in Denmark. So, but I mean, it's just an observation. It's nothing, I would do anything about, because I like the way I dress. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So talking about TB, if we continue, in down that alley. So you also follow TB. You followed TB for a long time, and I think actually we met because of TB.
For sure.
And, yeah, and including their fan pages, so the TB fans, on which started on Facebook. So what do those give you that, let's say, the brand itself doesn't?
Yeah, so actually, Tibi fan community is an amazing one. So I started following Tibi during COVID, and actually, I became very quickly obsessed. I bought so much stuff, from Tibi, like always possible when traveling to the US or finding other ways. And Amos Miller, she's very persuasive. It seems like whatever she presents, this is something that you need. So I did a lot of mistakes buying this way, and over time now I have a bit more kind of restraint, because I know already, okay, Stella in nylon, maybe not my thing. I already have these joggers in nylon. I don't like to sit on them for the whole day. Or, there is like a short jogger that was popular some time ago. But I actually even went to Tibi Fashion Show in New York one year and met a lot of Tibi fans. And I was, this community is amazing. Everyone is very friendly, creative, interesting, and it's great to talk about the brand and about everything. And Tibi Fans Group on Facebook is a great resource to understand how Tibi clothes are looking on different types of people.
Right.
Because yeah, when I try in real life Tibi clothes, maybe 1 of 10 looks good on me, because of the body type and different type of stylings and so on.
Yeah.
So with that group, I can look at how people wear it and how they style it, and then kind of make a bit more informed decision on the buying. And so I mean, Tibi is really a special brand. They did an amazing job, and I think that the fans, the customers of that brand, also are somehow united by this curiosity mindset, that type of thing. So it's I really love the fan community.
I mean, it's really a community where there is so much depth and such inspiring backgrounds, and what all the women and probably also men work with, what they do on a daily basis. And then there is this element that we all allow ourselves to be devoted to, which is fashion, right? And not just superficial as it may be for some. But in this group, it's like all, cherished and welcome and, appreciated. Mm-hmm.
And I think Tibi fans are also unafraid to play. They don't take it too seriously, the fashion.
No. Yeah.
They are really, looking for something interesting, not necessarily always super pretty or super, one-dimensional. So this, and you need a certain mindset to kind of think about that. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, not to talk about this live is not just about Tibi, but since we have initially connected because of Tibi, or thanks to Tibi. But yeah, I have definitely expanded my my horizons, or extended, and so it's in a way I have a new pair of glasses, a new way of seeing the world. And then when I look at other sources of inspiration, I think I have I think it's easier for me to actually, let's say, understand what I'm seeing, decode it, and see how I could actually implement it into my closet. So it's definitely I mean, worth dedicating the time to see the style classes.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
And Evelina, you also use a lot of Instagram, right, for your inspiration? How do you do it? And what's your process on the Instagram side?
Yeah, so I would say on Instagram, I mean, I had to, I mean, first of all, it's a huge platform. There is so much. So how do you let's say, minimize it? First of all, I mean, probably you're doing it as well, and maybe those who join and listen to us. But I have a list of favorites. So favorite profiles that I follow. I'm pretty sure yours is also favorite. But it's basically, by favorites, I mean, the closer group of, let's say, Instagram friends that I really want to see. So I want to make sure that once you post, I want to see that. And that has helped me enormously to actually enjoy going through my feed. But I definitely save. Obviously, I save specific stylings, and it would typically again be, I would say, around colors, and around, let's say, I mean, yes, well, styling, I mean, combinations of what to wear with what, and maybe especially about like third pieces. So something I would have never done before is like using a shirt at my waist. I mean, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe this would have been like, but why? and and now it's like, definitely, of course, I just did this today, actually. I wore a shirt at my waist, and so it's also looking. So it's more looking for something unexpected, something, maybe also proportions in an outfit. So I definitely save them. I have a folder on Instagram where I save this type of inspiration, and yeah, I mean, let's say the ones that really like spoke to me, I try to recreate in my own closet. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I also discover a lot of things through Instagram. There's some really great profiles to follow, and always inspiring how to
Yeah,
style things.
exactly. But I would say, I mean, because obviously some, um I mean, some are, of course, trying to sell you a product.
Yeah.
And but I mean, it's, for me, it's like, let's say, I see through it, so it doesn't bother me.
Hmm.
Maybe in a way, like, it's also on Substack. It doesn't bother me, and of course sometimes I welcome it, because yeah, it's just sometimes easier, to yeah, to create a certain look with a product that somebody is, let's say, pushing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm not, yeah. So I would say, no, I'm more of an Instagrammer. I sometimes use Pinterest, but Dalia, tell me how you use Pinterest, because I know you're probably a much better user of Pinterest.
Yeah.
How do you use it? Maybe also as compared to Instagram.
Yeah. So I, of course, use Instagram, Substack, and so on, but I found that Pinterest is really quite helpful. And I, by no means, am super advanced, but I have a mood board I can show you
Oh
how
yeah,
I.
please do.
Let's try it if it works. Yes. So this is, for example, this is my mood board, right?
Yeah.
So it's like all different color combinations from street style and so on. And it's basically my aspirational style, right? So it's basically an inspiration for me. And when I think about the outfits, I often go back to it and look at it and see how can I combine things in a more interesting way. And then the other thing that I do with Pinterest is also look for a specific, how to wear a specific item. For example, now I bought a vintage steel trench.
Yeah.
And, this is not a color I've had in my wardrobe. So I was just looking at different options, how, like, street style influencers and the people in fashion combine it. And for example, this is like an orange combination. It's a very interesting one. I wouldn't have come up with it myself.
Yeah.
So this is, I find this, it's much more when you have a specific question and specific problem. But if you are looking just for inspiration in general, I find that in Instagram and Substack, basically it's coming to you, right? And sometimes you don't want it's coming to you. You can discover a lot of new brands, a lot of new combinations, and things like that. And
Yes.
that Pinterest is super useful when you are like trying to solve a problem and trying to do something.
Yes, yes, you're right. And actually, that's also how I've used Pinterest before. But I just, it's not a place I like go to
Hmm.
on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So my go-to places are definitely Instagram and Substack, and then a couple of, let's say, well, maybe not on a daily basis, but a couple of other places I visit that we will talk about. Um, but I definitely saw on your mood board. I definitely saw a lot of colors
Yeah,
that
for sure. And
yeah, ring
it's my
ring
aspiration.
ring four, like a couple of ring four colors.
I love colors, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't wear them as much in my life. But when I wear them, I love them. So I'm trying to get myself to that
yes,
that level of my mood board.
like amazing. But maybe so that I also understand. So when you were creating this mood board, or maybe you're still in the, it's an ongoing process. But how do you start? I mean, what do you type in the
It's I usually type street style because, like if you go to generic Pinterest when you have no pins, they will give you like very Pinteresty outfits, if you know what I mean, like very
Mhm.
classic, maybe a bit dated and so on.
Yes.
But then when I start collecting some street style outfits or let's say fashion show outfits, it starts suggesting more pins that are like very similar in a way in the style and so on. So then
Yeah.
I just save the ones that I like, and then that's how I expand. So it's actually pretty easy once you start.
Okay, street style. Yeah, that's a good phrase to use. I mean,
Yeah,
the thing that Pinterest is good at is then, once you have saved a couple of looks, then
yeah,
it will push similar looks to you, which sometimes is what you want, right? But sometimes you would also like to, let's say, yeah, again, expand your horizon. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, true, 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 true.
And Evelina, so what else do you browse? Tell me about it. I know you browse a lot of new arrivals, right? At Net-a-Porter, My Teresa, as I guess all of us do. But tell us about your process
Yeah,
with
so
this.
I mean, it's well, first of all, we are both busy professionals, so it's really just for me, a way to relax. It's not like
Yeah,
I have, let's say every day or on a weekly basis, a slot where I let's say look for fashion inspiration. So it's definitely when I'm trying to take a break from whatever I'm doing at work. um, but so I have three, let's say, online destinations, and it's three, well, two. I think they are only online. Or My Theresa maybe still has a store, but anyway, it's My Theresa and it's Net-a-Porter. And then a German store that I know thanks to my occasional stylist and personal shopper, Teresa, who works for Anita Haas
mm,
in Hamburg. And they have both a physical store and they have an online store. And so I basically, I would typically do it on my either on my computer where the browser would remember new arrivals on those pages on those websites, or with Net-a-Porter and My Theresa just on also on my phone, where I use the apps. And well, I would just typically go to newer arrivals page. With Anita Has, because it's a smaller it's a smaller company, smaller store. It's a little bit let's say easier because they don't have that many brands, and they don't, their stock is not that as big as with the other two. So with My Theresa and Net-a-Porter, I have saved my favorite designers, and those are the ones I look at. um ev- but even so, it's just so much that I sometimes actually just give up in the process. but what I do with it, because my intention is to have as much as possible pre-love, so I wouldn't necessarily buy anything new. Of course, it does happen, but again, maybe like with TV, I mean, I am there to see what is trending right now. But of course, I mean, when I say trending, I'm not looking for necessarily the latest trend, but which direction are we going? And then how, because obviously if let's say now it's let's say the more the slimmer silhouette of jeans is trending more and more, but obviously it's not the same as it was whatever 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
There is a different interpretation, and I want to see how those movements in fashion are being interpreted, and then digest them and use as inspiration, using that word again, when I look for things secondhand, both online and in person.
Yeah.
What about you?
I also look at these new arrivals, especially of course Tibi and so on. But I also look at some of the vintage sites like The Real Real and Vestiaire and others. They definitely serve as an inspiration. I think sometimes I look a little bit too much. I start wanting to buy everything and so on. So sometimes it's not the best habit to relax that way. But anyway, it keeps you on top of things and what's
exactly
happening.
That's the thing, and then maybe that is a good segue to the next topic, which is your very specific no list when it comes to your wardrobe, Dalia. So do you have any restrictions, how they affect your inspiration? What do you eventually consider buying, right? Because of, I mean, just a word from myself, I mean, there is just so much out there that I think having a no list is a must, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I have a no list that to help navigate this. So one of the items is no black. And to give a bit more background, I think that before I discovered all these style classes and everything, black was my default. I would just buy it, for everything. And if I have a color, I would combine it with black and so on. And, now I realize that it's really not doing much for me, the black one. And in general, I kind of got tired. So I just say no black, but still I have black items. Because sometimes they're really so good, it's impossible to resist. Some of my favorite pieces still are black. Then, for example, another one is no kitten heels. I try to avoid it because it's not very convenient for me. I know, for example, Tibi does a lot of kitten heels, and I like the look of them, but I love to walk. So, it's like lifestyle informs it, and I just don't do it.
Yeah.
Another insight for me into my no list came from I track what I wear with the style book. And basically I kind of screenshotted all the statistics and fed it to AI. And for example, I love summer dressing and summer sandals, summer pieces, everything. But summer, I'm based in Lithuania. Summer is here 2 months or something like that. And it's, I realized I have maybe, 8 or something summer sandals that are best in good conditions. And then almost no loafers or wet weather shoes. So then I just say, okay, no summer sandals, no more summer sandals. I just, even though I love them and sometimes I share them on Instagram, I don't buy. Then I don't buy I really try to focus on the colors that work for me. There are some colors that, completely wash me out. And these dirtyish beige colors. It's people ask, are you sick? And so on. So even though I love them on style classes and on others, I just think, no, I will not do it, because even I had some pieces that were really great, but when I'm wearing it, I was not feeling very, very good. Comfort super important for me because I work
Yes.
from home. So let's not pretend that I will wear like wool trousers all day with like very tight belt or something like that. I usually try to have at least some elastic waist or something like that, and no like nylon for sitting all day because it's not very convenient. So I try to really curate and really tell myself just no for this. No very wide skirts don't work very well for me. So but actually I found that um, these constraints, they actually really help in creativity, because I think creativity is all
Yeah.
about constraints. And when you can buy anything and you can, just like endless new arrivals and just, click buy, it's kind of fun, but it's not so rewarding as discovering something within certain constraints. And so when you are not buying and say, okay, I need to figure out a look for like my, whatever event I'm going to or something like a daily life, and then you really play with your closet and then you figure it out, it's usually so much more rewarding and gives so much more joy.
Indeed. So what we
Yeah.
should, in fact, be, spending our time on is, I don't know, watching some, channels on YouTube that, promote very minimalistic living. Minimalistic
That's
closet.
I don't think it would harm us, to be honest, at least myself. But I can share. I actually tried some of these things to recreate from runway looks with
Yeah.
my own closet and from
Yeah.
trends.
Yeah.
So, for example, let me just show it.
Sure.
So, and this is a tartan piece, right? It's very beautiful, this cocoon skirts. And I saw that actually it's becoming, maybe a bit of a trend. I loved it. And so I thought, okay, how can I do it without buying anything?
Yes.
So I kind of tied my own skirt in a way to make it like between the legs, to make this kind of rampan type of station. And I wore this outfit, and I loved it. It was really,
This is so
really
cool.
cool.
How did you tie it?
Well, you need to tie it from the inside, so it's better when you take it off just to tie it with like just a knot.
An elastic, like a scrunchie.
Yeah, no, I just tied the two sides of the skirt like into a knot.
Got it.
Yeah, it's you can play with it, but it's like, and then if you really, really love it and wear it all the time, then you can maybe do it. Buy like a similar piece.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because just also to really figure out, if it's a style that really, suits you.
Yeah.
Because one thing is, sometimes it's like that's also why I think it's so good that you have at least. I mean, in the EU we have at least 14 days by law that we can. I mean, we have the right to let's say take this time, and we have the right to still return the product, which is really good. Sometimes it's maybe 30 days, and I really use this time. So when occasionally I buy something new, I do take my time to try it on, with my fundamentals, let's say, using TV's word in my closet to see, how does it fit? Is it going to become, make friends with other items in my closet? And for me, it's in terms of like your no list. I maybe have something similar, but it's more in terms of also comfort and bikeability. So I use this word bikeability. I need to be able to bike in my clothes, and I can't actually in everything I own. This skirt is actually a good example because it's just too narrow.
Really?
For a bike. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, it's like I have a couple of those items, and this one was bought very cheap and pre-loved, so it's okay.
And so, Evelina, how do you turn your inspiration into like the actual outfits? What happens when you find this beautiful idea? What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, I started this live with with a little bit of introduction, and those who are here often know that I do those outfit planning lives, and I don't do them just for the sake of showing my face on Substack, but it's because I actually do plan my outfits every week, every weekend. And I'm saying this because this is, let's say, a good example of how you can introduce play to your closet. And by playing with your closet, you will have the possibility to try things out. So when you find something inspirational out there, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TV style classes, whether it's Pinterest, or just whatever, just whatever you see on the street. I mean, it's not gonna magically happen if you don't play with your clothes, right? And maybe playing with your clothes, you will discover that there are some gaps that you actually need a certain element to be able to, fulfill your desired look, to create your desired look. But I mean, again, I have approximately 170 pieces in my closet, including like all seasons and including shoes and bags and jewelry. And I don't feel a need to have more. I mean, to be able to create looks. So I would say that's more than enough. But yeah, I would say play with your closet as much as possible. And I would also say that for me, it's important to okay, so when you play with your closet, you get to know your clothes, like very physically, because I mean, you work with most of them. I have also, this system that, I don't style pieces that I've just worn using this hanger method. I've just worn, I just, hang with the hanger, hanging the other way around. And that is also what you mentioned, that when you have less to play with, you are actually becoming much more creative. So, I would say, make play dates with your closet. Do you do that too? Do you plan your outfit?
Yeah, I don't plan. I should. I think it's because the mornings are quite hectic with school run and everything, and then it really doesn't help the style. But I haven't done like proper planning, but I sometimes do sessions in my closet, and I love it. Usually, I come up with so many looks that I didn't even consider, or maybe I try to play with one type of color and so on. I completely agree. You need to feel the clothes. Even in your head, they might go together, but then when you put them on, something is off.
Yes, and also the other way around. I mean, I've planned so many outfits that later on are just flops. But that's also why when I plan outfits for the following week, I typically just carry on and have maybe 6 or 7 outfits to choose from, because sometimes it does happen that an outfit just that I just don't like an outfit, right? And what I would like to do more is actually to do those outfit planning sessions with I mean, having like really studied my inspiration sources. So being more I mean, being more dedicated to that, because sometimes, I mean, I have to be honest, it's a little bit, ad hoc, let's say, what I actually style. I mean, again, following my hanger method, but other than that, I would like to. That's my intention to let's say to have a mood board like yours, whether it's on Pinterest or something else, but then to actually follow it when I plan my outfits. That's my intention.
Yeah, yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
you can commit to a certain color scheme or a certain theme. You don't need to do everything like immediately, because if you think about designers, they also curate each collection very,
Yes.
very rigidly. It's not like every option is there. It's a theme, it's a color scheme, and so on.
Exactly. And now, good that you mentioned that, because you are really good at following, let's say, fashion weeks and street style. Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, tell me how do you do this? What do you find easier to translate into your own wardrobe? Yeah. Is it a runway look, or something you see on the street?
Yeah, so I actually do follow, of course, I watch TB and so on, like their collections very closely, but also I follow what's going on in the runways and on the street style. Usually, when you start like searching for a bit of that, Instagram algorithm picks up, and for example, now it's just serving me looks from Copenhagen Fashion Week and so on. And once I tried to recreate runway outfits with my own closet, and it was not a very good exercise. It was like, yeah, I realized I don't have that many runway level clothes. Like, for example, I was trying to recreate some mini skirt with a big white fur, and instead of the white fur, I put on a white nylon jacket. It like looked very different from the runway.
Yeah.
But still, you can pick an inspiration. But from the street style is somehow much more closer to me. So, for example, I will show you from Copenhagen Fashion Week. Um, yeah, this is Jeanette Madsen. I really love her style, and this is what she wore for the street style. So if you think about it, it's a fairly like wearable outfit, and what ideas it gave to me that she's doing like a really bright top, but then she has three types of animal print in the like. Here it's a darker print and so on, and and I think that's what makes it work, because if you had just a black slip skirt and like some basic accessories, it wouldn't be so much such an interesting look.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and I mean, also, let's be honest, these days, and probably, for some time now, we are all talking more about, that fashion is more about styling, really, and not
Yeah,
big trends. Yes, of course, there are, let's say, I mean, there will always be certain, let's say, colors trending, right? And then, well, if is this a color that you want to add to your wardrobe, or it's not? And then maybe a little bit slower moves, let's say, to over to more like balloon pants, or
yeah,
horseshoe pants, or wide leg pants, contra slimmer cuts. So um, so again, something that it's good to, definitely it's good to, let's say, to stay up to date with. But as you said, we maybe also at this age, at your
yeah,
age, um, you know yourself, you know your closet, you know what you like, and certainly what you don't like, and what doesn't work for your life.
yeah,
And it, I think you add slowly. Of course, I mean, sometimes I also do mistakes. I would say, I think especially maybe with TV, but also I think it's because it's how to put it. I think with TV I started actually buying more, to be honest. So naturally, I think when you buy more, you there is, statistically speaking, a bigger risk of mistakes. But I would say, still, the more you expose yourself, that's maybe also the conclusion of this
yeah,
life, is that, I mean, the more you expose yourself to fashion content, but of course in a curated way, because otherwise we would all just drown in that content, and with some kind of an intention. So, like, for yourself, it's let's say, certain colors that you are drawn to, right?
yeah,
If we look at the mood board, for me, it's, I think, more, how to combine, let's say, certain colors, that I've never seen combined before.
Mhm.
And yeah, and how to make it look more interesting, uh, let's say using, I think it's yeah it's I think it's mostly about like using items that I have in my closet again, like a shirt, in new ways that I wouldn't have thought
Yeah.
about some time ago. um yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks so much for this time and for our talk.
Thank you, Evelina.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for having, and thanks
Yeah,
everyone
amazing.
for listening.
Yeah.
It's
Cool. So
it's great.
this is of course being recorded, so so we will post it. I guess it's also gonna show up in your feed, hopefully,
Yeah.
on your publication. But yeah, well, this has been a conversation between On Shopping My Closet and a Style in Progress with Dalia. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dalia.
Evelina.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Everyone. Bye.